What's good, YouTube? It's been a long minute since I made a video. I think it's been like a month or something. It's been insane. Like, my life has been crazy. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the most recent thing that I've done in the past 2 weeks. It's like taken over my life in the past 2 weeks, and I'm finally finished. So I finally get to make a video about it. Okay, so in the Air Force, like, you get awards and you can be put up for certain accolades and whatnot. So I have a new supervisor, and when she came into my division, she was like, Sanders, we're going to put you up for Airman of the Quarter and Airman of the Year. And I was like, okay, cool, because I had never heard of it. And like, my old supervisor never said anything about it to me. So I was like, okay, whatever, sure. So she's like, every week I want you to fill out this report and tell me everything that you've done for the week as far as work is concerned. And so I did that for about 2-3 months. And then the package was due like the end of November or whatever. So I think like 12 people put a package in. And I was one of 3 airmen to be selected to go for Airman of the Quarter. But she put me in for Airman of the Quarter and Airman of the Year. So I was one of 3 people for Airman of the Quarter. And then I also got picked for one of 3 people for Airman of the Year. And so basically what was going to happen was that I was going to have to do a board twice. A board is just like a panel of people, like tech sergeants and master sergeants and above. And they ask you all these questions, you know, out of the study guide that they give you. So it's just a board, a board of people on a panel. So that's what happened. So this is how crazy it went. So I was told I was picked up for Airman of the Quarter and Airman of the Year. But at the time I was told this, I was in a class for my job. So I was in that class for like a week, learning how to write articles or write products for my job. So I was in that class, so I wasn't at work, like in my office. So I was told that, and I was in class that whole week. So I was in class from Monday to Friday, and then Saturday I got on a train to go to Paris, and I didn't get back till Tuesday. And then my board was on Friday. Or I didn't get back till Wednesday, my board was on Friday. So I had to go from the class, and this class is from like 8:30 to 5. So I go from the class from 8:30 to 5. I get the packet on Friday. She's like, you gotta read this packet, you know, take it on the train with you to Paris, read the packet. And this packet, I'm telling y'all, this thing is so boring. Like, this, oh God, it was just so rough. I was reading it like phone, I was like reading it. It was like 57 pages long, and I'm reading it like this. On the train like that. I'm like, oh man, this is rough. So I read it, the train to London to Paris is 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I read it once. I'm like, I'm not reading this crap again. So just, but anyway, I got that packet. And I read it on the train. And I get back on Wednesday. And she's like, oh, that packet's outdated. We got to give you the new packet that's up to date so you can have the right information. And mind you, I got back on Wednesday. My board is on Friday. 2 days to study. 2 days to study 57 pages of new information. All right, cool, whatever. So basically my life shut down. People were calling me. They were like, what are you doing? You making dinner? Because my friends always call me to see what I'm cooking for that night, for dinner for that night. I'm like, I'm not cooking. I'm not doing it. So don't call me. Don't text me. You know, don't call me no more and don't text me no more. You know, all that. Yeah, I was doing all of that. So like, just leave me alone. And they were like, you need help studying? I'm like, yeah, come help me study. I studied for just at work all day. I didn't do anything at work but study. And so 2 days study, I knocked it out. I beasted it. I read it packet like 4 times. You know, I gotta get Airman of the Quarter / Airman of the Year, whichever one. It's cool for me, whatever. So so Friday comes, I'm nervous as shit. You know, I'm like, I don't know anything about a board. I have never been to one. Nobody has ever told me about one. I went to my friend's house. I was asking her, like, what questions do they normally ask you? You know, because she had won Airman of the Quarter before. And so I was like, what questions have they asked you? You know, how does it work? What do you do when you go in there? Like, what's it like? Da-da-da-da. X, Y, and Z. So she was telling me about it. And I had my mock board that day. And, like, I didn't feel like I did that well. But they make you say, like, the Airman's Creed. And, you know, they ask you questions at the packet. And mind you, I had just gotten that packet. So I got a couple questions wrong. And they ask you about current events. And I really don't read. I don't have cable. And I really don't use my computer once I get home. So I really don't read the news that much. So I got one of those questions wrong too. But it's fine. It's cool. So I went to her house. She helped me out a little bit. She's like, go home and read this stuff. So I went home. I read it. I knew all about it. Okay, so the next day, I'm sharp. You know, I'm sharp. I'm good. I'm in my blues. You know, I got my service jacket on. I wish I had a picture for you guys, but I didn't take one. But I was looking good. Believe me, I was looking good. So I roll up in there, and we have 5 board members. It's 4 master sergeants and one technical sergeant, right? So they get in there and they ask me questions that are in the packet. And so, okay, so what you do, you go in there, you knock on this door. And I mean, I used to be known for this in BMT. Like, I would beat the shit out of that door. So I go up to the door and I like, boom, blow that door off the hinges. And so they're like, enter. And so you march in, you know, you do your facing movements to the chair. The chair is like right in front of the president of the board, and you give your report statement. So I was like, sir, Airman Sanders reports for Airman of the Quarter Board. And so they're like, good afternoon, Airman Sanders, da-da-da-da. Here's the board members, whatever. So we had to do some facing movements. So I'm like, beasting out these facing movements because I'm sharp. If y'all didn't know, I'm sharp as an airman. So they just checked out my uniform, make sure it was straight. And I got my facing movements. They put me back to the chair. I kicked this freaking chair. I'm like, because I'm supposed to lose your military bearings. So this chair is like in my way. I'm trying to do facing movements. This chair is just like not where I want it to be. But whatever. I kept my composure. Points for Sanders right there. That's what I heard. So sit down. They start asking me questions. They asked me questions at the packet. And I don't want to give you like all the questions they asked. But like a question was, what... Some question, I don't know. I got it wrong. I don't know. I didn't know the answer. Another question was like, on semi-formal service dress, do we wear our name tags? And the answer was no. And I knew the answer was no, first of all, because I had read the 362903 like 4 times. And I knew the answer was no for that. But also we had just had our joint service ball and we wore semi-formal service dress and nobody had their name tags on. So the answer was no. That was a question. And then he asked me like, why were there riots in Egypt? And I didn't know. But it's because their president just acts a monkey and wants to be like, I can do whatever I want and you guys can't really say anything about it. That was really the answer. In more professional terms. But you get my point. So I'm super nervous and they have the board members are there and then behind them is my senior master sergeant, my element chief, my major, and another master sergeant back there, and they got all these people just looking at me. They're like staring at you. You ever had like 10 people just like all on your face and you're just like, what? It's like being at the snake pit, but you went there. It's like if you were in the snake pit, people who went to BMT, it's like if you were at the snake pit, but you just stopped and started letting them ask you questions. That's really what it was. And I was like, man, this is jacked up. So I'm in there, I'm answering all these questions. You know, I'm pretty good because, you know, I have my mock board, and if you can't tell, I normally talk really fast. And that's just how I've always been and how I probably will always be. And it's really bad for somebody in my job because I'm supposed to give briefings, but I talk really fast. So in my mock board, they told me to slow down. So I made a conscious effort to slow down when I spoke. So I was really good with that. I had a really good posture. You know, I sat up straight. They want you to use their rank when you answer a question. I was on it. I was doing it. You know, I answered all the questions. You know, if I had to think about it, I looked down. You know, and then I come back and I answered the questions in complete sentences. Boom, I did it. They were like, thank you, Airman Sanders, for coming in. You know, you dismissed from the board if you don't have anything to say. And I was like, thank you for letting me represent my division and being Airman of the Quarter and whatnot. So, you know, I got up, I did my facing movements, walked out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I walked out, I was like, oh, man, that was rough. That was some rough shit right there. I was like, God, I don't know how I did. I was so nervous. I really don't get nervous, but I was really nervous about that because I was nervous, you know, to know how I did, but also my supervisor had put in a lot of work to get me to where I was, and she had did her part. So, excuse me, she had done her part. So, I wanted to make sure I did my part and at least kick ass for that. So, I was really, really nervous. But once I got out there, I was like, that wasn't really that bad. You know, that wasn't really that bad. So, we'll see what the results are. They did make me... I was supposed to do 2 boards for the Airman of the Quarter. That was the first board I did, was Airman of the Quarter. And they said, my senior master sergeant was like, if your Airman of the Quarter board is good enough, they won't make you do the Airman of the Year board. Or if you feel like you didn't do well enough, you can do the second board. And I was like, I don't want to do the second board, because that's just like giving them a whole new range of questions to ask me. I don't want to do that. So I was like, that first board was good for me, sir. He's like, okay, cool, you can go back to your office. I'm like, right, chill. And so I go back, and I'm like sitting and whatever, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm really relieved because it's like Friday, and I didn't want to be doing that mess. Like, my brain was just like, everything just shut down. So I was just like, all right, cool. So I'm just chilling. And so I get the email, you know, everybody sends out the email like around 2 o'clock. We get it. And it's like, congratulations to the following airmen. And so I didn't get Airman of the Quarter, but I did get Airman of the Year, and which was amazing because the two people I went against are like two of the top airmen in the entire building. And they had previously won Airman of the Quarter, and I had never been put up for Airman of the Quarter. So everybody expected one of the two of them to win, but I won, which was pretty awesome. So I was like, yay, you know. So I couldn't celebrate because I had to do Junior Service Member of the Year board on that Tuesday. So I couldn't really go out and party like I wanted to, you know. I really don't drink and I really don't party. So for me to want to do that, you know, that got to be something really serious. So I wasn't able to do that. They were like, can you celebrate? I went to London for one day and I didn't even have fun. So I had to go home and study. So I was studying for the weekend. Study. I studied. Okay. So my supervisor, she comes in. She got food poisoning, so she couldn't really help me. And I forgot to mention, I got food poisoning in Paris, so I couldn't really study that much. And plus, I was in Paris for the first time, so I didn't really want to study. So when I got back, I was feeling a little bit better. Then she got sick, so she couldn't help me. So other people were trying to help me. I had like all these staff sergeants and tech sergeants coming to try to help me. I had chief petty officers and senior chief petty officers, and my senior master sergeant were helping me. Master sergeants were helping me. Everybody's trying to help me get ready because, you know, I'm going against the Sailor of the Year, which is the Blue Jacket of the Year, and I'm going against the Soldier of the Year for Junior Service Member of the Year for our unit. So all these people are trying to help me get ready. So we have a mock board, and they're telling me on here the most common questions that they've heard, or questions that they've heard before on the board. So I'm like, okay, great. So some of the answers I didn't know, but they told me the answers. The next day was my board. The next day, I would say probably about half the questions that they told me were on that board. I was like, man, I know the answers to all of these things. I was like, yes, money. So I'm like, I'm answering the questions. One of the questions was like, name 3 things that are common amongst all the services when it comes to our uniform standards. Cool. We all must be covered when we walk outdoors, which means we all must have our ABU cap on, or the sailors have their cover on, or whatever the service is called. We all must have that. Our uniform must be clean and presentable at all times, and we must present a clean and professional appearance ourselves, like, which means like the guys must have their hair cut and the females must have, you know, their hair done in a certain manner. Those are my 3 things. Cool. Another thing was our Army first sergeant. Like, he made me the most nervous out of anybody else on the board. He made me the most terrified, and he's really cool. Like, he's really chill. But those Army people, just like they were worse than the Marines sometimes. He was just like, Sanders, you know. Yes, Master Sergeant, what's up? And he was like, Sanders. Because this was a code of conduct question. Code of conduct. There are 6 articles in the code of conduct. And his question was, if we were caught behind the wire, if we were prisoners of war, and he discovered that there was a break in the wire or a break in the fence and a way for us to get out, and he took me to the place, and we were trying to get out, and I managed to get out, but he got stuck in the wire, would I leave him there? And the day prior, my chief petty officer had asked me that same question. And I was like, man, because she's pregnant. So I'm like, God. I mean, the answer is you leave them there. Leave their asses there. Okay? That is the answer to the question. But she's pregnant. She asked me that question. I was like, man. She's like, would you leave me in the wire? I was like, yes. I would leave you. I'm sorry. I would have to leave you. And she's like, really? I was like, yes, I would probably have to leave you. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to get left. So She was like, that's the right answer. Don't feel bad. That's the right answer. I was like, all right, but I kind of feel like a dick because you're pregnant. I was like, that's bad. But she's like, no, that's the right answer. She's like, that's First Sergeant's favorite question. So if he asked that question, that's the answer. I was like, all right, cool. So what comes up the next day? Sanders, if I'm left in the wire, would you leave me there? I was like, yes, First Sergeant, I would leave you there, as a matter of fact. He's like, really? You would leave me there? Yes, I would. Because he was like, because it's like 6 people on the board. And he was like, I told him, I said, sir, there are 6 people's lives in jeopardy. So leaving you in the wire would be more beneficial to the group as opposed to you as an individual. I'm sorry. You have to be left in the board, in the wire. He was like, okay. And so that was like 2 of the questions that they asked. So I thought it was pretty cool that my supervisors were helping me, and I felt really relieved about that. So I came out the board. I was really nervous. I think I got 2 questions wrong, but it's okay. I came out the board, and the Blue Jacket of the Year and the Soldier of the Year are my friends, and so we're all pretty cool. And I came outside, and the sailor was waiting to go in because I went first, so she was waiting to go in, and so we waited. That board was on Tuesday. We didn't find out until 2 days ago, and today's Monday, and they sent the email out on Monday. So I didn't win Service Member of the Year. And I was kind of sad about that. Like, I had tried really hard, and they, I did the best I could, but I only lost by 1 point, which my supervisor and like all the higher ups tell me it was really close, and it was really close. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel. I don't feel good about that. For you to tell me there's a big gap between me and her. Don't tell me I lost by 1 point. Because then I'm like, seriously? And the reason that my supervisor gave me, I was just like, it's something that did not apply to me that they used to give her that extra point. So I'm like, that's not fair. But, life is not fair. Whatever. I got Airman of the Year. So, I rock my Air Force hoodie right now. But I got Airman of the Year, so that's pretty cool. But that's really what's been going on. She gets to go to Stuttgart, Germany now to compete for UCOM Service Member of the Year, which is pretty awesome. I wanted to go because I've never been to Germany before, but she's really cool. So I wish her the best luck. So, that's pretty awesome. I just get to be Airman of the Year. And I got coined. Oh, I should show you guys. I got coined by my Chief Petty Officer. I'll show you. So this is my first time I've ever been coined too. I thought it was really cool. But the Blue Jacket of the Year and we work in the same division, so we both got coined for being good junior enlisted members. So this is my coin. You see, is it gonna focus? It says, oh, it's not gonna focus. Okay, well I'll take a picture and then I'll put it on there for you guys. And then that's like, I know it's really hard to see, so I'm sorry. But yeah, it's Chief Petty Officers Association, RAF Molesworth. So it's pretty awesome. I got coin. I'm really happy about that. But that's what's been happening in the past 2 weeks. I got Airman of the Year. That is the point I'm making for this video. So if you have any Airman of the Year questions, board panel questions, now I know about it. So feel free to hit me up. I know some people have been leaving comments on my videos and I haven't responded. That's because I read them on my phone, and my phone makes it really hard to respond immediately. My laptop is busted. Like, that thing is old. So I will get back to you as soon as possible. So I hope everybody's having a good day. It's almost Christmas. Christmas is in 6 days. So I hope everybody has a very good Christmas, or a happy Hanukkah, or a happy Kwanzaa, or if you're atheist, a good Wednesday, or whatever today is. Yeah, a good Wednesday, whatever applies to you. So I will see y'all next video, and have a good rest of your day.